Okay, what's a good period appropriate power supply I can drop in this system? Preferably something without serial ATA hardware. Well, it looks like I'm going to be hard pressed to find anything without serial ATA hardware. Oh, wait. Hold on. I have a power supply. I've got a Hypro supply in the back corner over here. I don't know if it has serial ATA hardware. It doesn't appear to have it other than via just some adapters. Other than via just some random adapters strung off the end of it. Then I have another older power supply here out of a long defunct Dell system. Wait, there we go. Oh, that's where my ATX trigger. This is where my PS on tool has been this whole time. Been hung off the end of this thing for the last 2 years. I have been looking for that for a while. No, this does not have any serial ATA plugs on it. It's got a Hypro part number. I don't know what this came out of. I think it was some sort of HP pre-built thing with a 5-volt Duron processor. Yeah, that's some really thin wiring. I'm not powering a hyperthreaded Pentium from that. No thank you. Not to mention it's got an incorrect form factor anyways. That leaves me with a couple of options. Both are Dell power supplies. One of them, one of these I think has a fault in its own 5-volt standby circuit. It does not. It is a period correct power supply. And then the other one has this weird mounting bracket on it. It came out of a defunct Dell system. It's not ATX compliant. I'm not using that. So what we're going to do here instead is get something with the least amount of serial ATA ports on it. So that's a light-on supply. This is a Chinese something or another. Yeah, I'm not powering a hyper-threaded P4 off of that. Because that is like 20 gauge. That's like 18 or 22 or 20 gauge wiring on that supply. So yeah, we'll be putting this decently heavy Hypro in there because that's, I think, 14 or 16 gauge wiring on its processor power connector. Of course, now I'm just going to find how they zip tied all this stuff up and realize that I don't have anything here. I don't have anything immediately at hand to cut this with other than possibly brute force via a screwdriver, which is not the correct way to go about doing this. There we go. And that power supply just went tumbling to the floor. Okay. Unfurl all these wires. I don't know if that... I know none of this is on camera. Okay, I think we've got enough here. So this here is a light-on... So this here is a light-on model PS-5301-08HA, rated for 300 watts, 25 amps on its 5-volt rail, and 19 amps on its 12-volt rail. So definitely a... So, I mean, it's a light-on supply, it's decently heavy. I think it will do the job just fine. So... Now, for my next trick, I'll manage to fit this thing in here and plug it in, too. So, anyway, got it the correct way up on the first try. How about that? I don't remember what this particular Hypro supply came out of. I would like to say it came out of a compact SR5404F. SR5404F system, whose motherboard died because of NVIDIA Bumpgate. But I can't say for sure. I love the mountain range on the top of that Foxconn cooler fan. I have no idea whether that's going to sound like a lawnmower or not whenever we power it up. And just out of curiosity, let's look at the System South bridge. I can't read any of that. Let me see. Flash BIOS chip down there. So this looks like a hardwired 24-pin connector, which may actually end up proving to be a showstopper for us. Because I don't think you can... Yeah, this may be a showstopper. Yeah, and it looks like it will. Oh boy, I'm going to have to select a different power supply. Let me see, does this have a detachable +4? No, it doesn't, but... There's a 20-pin, it's still really thick wiring on that connector. That's not ATX compliant. This one here, I believe, has a fault. Okay, we'll try something here real quick. I'm just going to plug this Dell supply into power. Put my cheater plug on there. And plug a hard drive into it and see what happens. See if it powers up or blows up. Well, powers up. Seemed to power the hard drive acceptably well. Of course, if all else fails, I can put in this thing, an Ultra Computing Products ATX switching power supply for rated at 380 watts, and it is actually a decently heavy power supply. That is a lot of heat sink in there. And this would probably stand 380 watts of load. Of course, it is absolutely the most gaudiest thing that I could put in this system, but it would work in a pinch. So, and of course, this Dell supply has decent wiring on its ATX connector. And it's 4-pin power connector too. And you know what, I can't use this supply for other unrelated reasons. So yeah, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put the gaudiest thing in here that I can. Because I mean, it is a period correct power supply, which means that it will have decent ratings on the appropriate power rails. It actually has decent wiring. I should probably remove that jumper clip from it that I used as a basic test. So, and then we have, oh look, a removable zip tie. Of course, it is removable only in the sense that it will come free without destroying it. And this is quickly turned into a full-scale production, as most things do around here. There we go, that comes off. Goes away to the side. But I've still got zip ties to cut. Chances are there's probably going to be a very large jump cut in this video where I cut out like 20 minutes of messing around trying to get the correct power supply, just so that I can power this thing up without having an unexpected 4th of July or Independence Day show take place in here. Because that would not be good. Speaking of power and winds and whatnot, we currently have a very strong cold front blowing into our area. And so if the lights should ever go out, we will all know about it because the UPSs will click over to battery power, and I'll hear about 5 or 6 systems beeping at me, because APC UPSD will be making everybody aware of the fact that yes, indeed, the lights are out.